Real-time penguin concept of that Google's going to roll out the penguin penalties at a real-time click, as well as removal of penalties at a real-time click. Can you give us any thoughts about that? Because I know it's been discussed in Rumorville, but Google's been speaking of it in hints and nudges. But I mean, that's, in my sense, is a bit scary, because we've seen what has happened to companies and websites because of the penguin slam down, and being able to have something that's moving that fast. In my thought, it would be very easily to see how it could be affecting sloppy penalties and not being truly vetting out sites. But can you give me some insight into that?
So let's define real time in penguin terms a little bit first.
Yep.
Okay. So real time doesn't mean
instant,
that
right?
Instant. It's everything in Google's algorithm always depends on recrawling and re-verification, first of all. So there's always an inherent latency. We don't know how long that will be. It might be months still. So if you get hit by penguin and then you do all the right things to fix it, it might take months before Google's recrawling and or whatever will have taken place so that you come out. But what will be different, and this is very clear from what Google has said, is that historically you get hit by penguin and they might not do another release for over a year. And it was dependent on some process where they had to dedicate some team to work on that algorithm, and they might not decide even to start the process for 6 months after a given release. And you could be in penguin jail for a very, very long time.
That's it right there.
Right?
Yep.
So the idea that, gosh, I ran afoul of this thing. Maybe I had an SEO firm getting us bad links that they shouldn't have been getting us, or, any of these kinds of things. And then, you're in this jail for a year or more. That's really harsh. So now the process of collecting the data is continuous. I'm under the impression, and I do have to state that it's my impression, that the reprocessing of the data I'm quite confident that is supposed to be automated, but it's probably not literally continuous. It probably reruns on some periodic basis.
Small batches as opposed to these long
every
initiatives.
I don't know, 2-3 months or something. I mean, again, don't read too much into, because I don't have enough inside information to tell you with great certainty. I'm trying to interpret the few things I've heard, but that's but this notion of that it won't be truly instant, you could put in the bank. It is.
Well, that gives us hope, because honestly, as we've inherited companies that have been slammed with a penguin penalty, we had to be frank with our clients. Hey, it's going to be 6 months. It's going to be a year before you're out of jail, and even that, we've got to make sure that we're keeping the nose clean, and that we're constantly jettisoning any and disavowing any links that you're pulling up as barnacles on your ship. But this is actually a good scenario, and it's kind of we've wished for this scenario, to be able to have a little bit more purging, a system that can actually be self-writing, at least to a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.